Yo, it's Zaire BlackStar, whatever you want to call me. And today we are showing off our post-patch Pyromancer build. I know the DPS is really good for this build, so let's go ahead and what we'll do is we'll do the first part where we'll look at the skill tree and what we go down. Then we'll go over with that skill tree, we'll go over the skills that we use, and then we'll go over what we use in our build specifically. So thank you guys for taking the time to watch this, and let's get into it. So look, this is our skill tree. This is the Pyromancer, medium range, conjurer, fire, melee skill, deals 10k damage, inflicts burn. We don't really use melees though. You heal by killing marked enemies, and you mark enemies by hitting them with your skill. We go down and the top tree, the Ash Breaker tree, because this build involves Ash. We are using weapon damage and then cooldown. We really want cooldown. Cooldown is important because you want these skills to come up very fast. Then we have Market Anomaly. We go into Assault Master. We use a lot of ARs, LMGs, and stuff like that. Double guns, SMGs sometimes. So this is a no-brainer. It increases your assault weapon damage by 20% and the chance to get more by 20% as well. So always a good thing. Then we go ahead and get Trial of the Ashes, because this gives you 10% more damage to your enemies that are afflicted with Ash. We get Armor Piercing. We're doing mostly firepower damage from your bullets, so Armor Piercing is a little bit more viable than using something like Resistance Piercing, which is more for your anomaly type builds. And then we have another Market Anomaly. Then we go, instead of getting, like I said, instead of getting the Resistance Piercing, we get another Curse of the Pompeii, which inflicts Ash 15% longer to enemies, which is huge because you want them to stay Ash for as long as possible, especially when you're like fighting elites and stuff. Keeping them ashed while you just pummel them is a big part of this build. Then we have another Market Anomaly, and then we get another Blood Boil because this is armor piercing. So now we have 20% armor piercing. Then we have another weapon damage. We have another Market Anomaly. We get Ashes to Ashes. This is very important because whenever you ash an enemy, you inflict vulnerable as well. Like I said, this is the Ash build, so just extra damage. We get the Moth to the Flame, increase your weapon leech, and then the Leeching Force. So whenever you use an immobilized skill, which is Feet to Flames and Ash Blast, you get double the weapon leech for 4 seconds. It's pretty good. We get Nimble as a Flame. This decreases your reload time. Then hurt twice as long. Trials of the Ashes. So like I said, this is a post-patch build. So before this, Trials of the Ashes used to give you 30% more damage. They nerfed it to 15%, but I still see that I do a lot of damage. So not the biggest nerfs, and it doesn't really affect too much. Marble Orchard, which gives another 15% cooldown to your skills, and now we have like 30% cooldown, which is good. And obviously Burning Situation, activating immobilized skills, increases your weapon damage by 45% for 10 seconds. So that is my skill tree, and why this is super important and super good, because this is a 10 seconds whenever you're using your skills. So if you're using your skills in like 2-second intervals, even if you're not, like you can keep that almost forever. My Fate to Flames is at a 9.1 cooldown, and I'm not even at max cooldown. And then my Ash Blast is at 15.2 second cooldown. So pretty good. So we use volcanic rounds because this is a weapon power like build, and so you want to just have the best, like this is that increases your damage and also inflicts burn. It has like an AoE effect to it too, so it's really strong. So that's our first skill. Then we get Feet to Flames. Feet to Flames is a mobilized skill, and so it also can like interrupt targets, which is pretty good. I swear in the demo it used to have interrupt as well, but it just says immobilize, which maybe that just stands for interrupt as well. But so it pulls an enemy, dealing 12k damage. It drains, gives you that 12k health back, and then it inflicts Ash on that enemy that you pulled. So really good technique, and it goes into the build really well. Then we have Ash Blast. It creates an anomaly blast and inflict Ash to all enemies within the wide radius around you. This is really good because you can inflict Ash on almost the entire like map to like what's close to you, and it's really strong because now you do more damage to anything that's Ash. Everything's Ash. You do more damage. You know, our armor set. So we are using Surgeon's Beret, this just is for raw like firepower. If you don't have this, you can just use a regular thing. Just put whatever on it. we have what the things that's really important. Like Surge's Barrier is perfect for us. We have bonus firepower on it, cooldown reduction on it, and status power. Bonus firepower helps with your just overall your damage when you're doing just bullet damage. Cooldown reduction, good for your skills coming back up so fast. And then status power is what it affects like your burns and all of that. So that's those three things is like kind of what I look most for when I'm like looking for armor sets. So as you can see, like this was only bonus fire, close range, and status. If I could find an armor set that's bonus firepower, cooldown, and status again, I'll probably put that one on. Same with this, bonus close range status, but then the rest are actually this is another bonus close range and cooldown, and then a bonus cooldown and status. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that for the entire thing. If I can get more of the cooldowns and stuff like that, that'll be great, just so I can have Feed the Flames and Ash Blast just more often. The mods that I put on, I just keep the normal mods for this legendary. So if you get this legendary, these are the 2 mods that come with it. So that's that. For this, I put on Feed the Flames, replenishes 33% of your ammo in your magazine, and Bullet Kindling, which deals 20% more damage against enemies afflicted by burn. And with the bullet absorption skill, we mix that with the wide grip skill, which enables an absorption of 1 additional target. So now we can grab 2 targets, grabbing obviously more health from that, doing twice the damage essentially, and also getting 66% of your ammo back instead of just that 33%. On these boots as well, I get an Ashen boost. So just like how I use Bullet Kindling, and that deals 20% more damage to burn, this does 20% more damage to ash, and so those both proc as well. On my gloves, I use bonus firepower. On my gloves, I use Ash increases the range. Ash increases range, which just increases the range of Ash Blast, which makes it 66% larger, which is really like you can really see how far it goes. It's crazy. It's like just amazing. Then we use susceptibility, which we got from a tier 3 armor set. I believe Kijugo sells this one, maybe. I believe. I'm not 100% sure. But volcanic rounds increases the resistance of enemies damaged by the skill by 34%, which is really good. Like I said, I don't really use much. I mostly use armor piercing, so this is what I use if I do need some type of resistance. And then we just use this torturous waistcoat, this is everything that comes on this waistcoat. So yeah, you don't really have to worry about that. Ash Blast, using the skill increases your weapon leech by bonus by 40% for 6 seconds. That's just more weapon leech, so I can kind of keep myself alive while I'm fighting. And then volcanic rounds, the skill is extra mag, so we get an additional magazine before triggering the cooldown. I feel like that one's really important, just in case you're using a weapon that like an AR or something and you can't keep the ammo up. That's really good for that, in my opinion. So yeah, that's kind of all of my build things. What I will show you now is mostly, this is like one of the main guns. So my secondary gun, I don't really worry about too much. I kind of just use whatever crap I want. And so like right now I'm trying out the Ryrock's Gaze. I see Solid FPS, who is a super damage god of this game. He uses this a lot. So I was trying it out with Dark Sacrifice and just an extra damage. And then, but this is like my main weapon. So this is kind of what I use because, like I said, I don't really reload much with this build. So a lot of times I kind of just use this throughout the entire thing, and I rarely ever reload. I might reload once if I'm like being lazy with my Feed the Flames. But what I put on it is Sandstorm, which is a tier 3 that I got. But if you don't have Sandstorm, you can put on like Death Chains or Claymore. Those two works really well as well. But Sandstorm, I just feel like does so much damage. The only thing maybe that you could put above that is like Shadow Comet. Shadow Comet is crazy, but I don't have that yet. So I use Sandstorm and Ash Bullets, which I'm actually not even that big of a fan of Ash Bullets because it actually creates Ash a little too much when I don't need it, and sometimes can make bosses go into their resisted state, and sometimes that can really screw you over. But I use the suppressing variant just so it has the most clip size, so 150. So when I do get that 66% back from grabbing 2 targets, I get 100 bullets back essentially. So I'm always stacked with bullets, like I was saying. And I kind of just pummel targets with like bullets while they're ash, and then they kind of just die. So it's not like high burst damage, but it's very consistent high damage, which I think is even kind of better. Unless there is a very consistent high damage way you can do that, which you can if you use like AR tactical, but or just the AR in general. ARs are really strong, but it's harder to keep the ammo up unless you use like perpetual mobile, which is the skill that when you get a kill with like 35% less ammo, you can like it refills the entire mag, and that works. But then you kind of just you plan off of that, and it can be a little weird. So I kind of just like the LMG using that, and then I'll just switch up my secondary. So I use the AR there. I'm trying out rifles, trying out the one-shot rifles. I'm trying out this one-shot rifle, which is really fun to use with the scrap grenade mechanic, because every shot you use, you reload essentially. So the first shot after reload becomes an anomaly projectile. So you kind of get a bunch of damage with that. So that's been fun to try to mess around with. You can use shotguns. You can use whatever you want, really. The patches out.
I would say that's bad news, because now it's harder to get out of 14.
But I don't. I haven't lagged or stuttered or crashed
I'm
yet.
kind of stuttering, but I crashed already.
She was on DS12. That didn't count. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I've been BlackStar. I'm out. See you.